All right, what's up everyone? I'm gonna do a video here about the new color dancer and as well as how to do some stuff with the triple plates. Yeah, I'm just gonna freestyle and talk about it. All right, so I got my camera arm here. I got a Sony, this is Sony a7 III. Got a zoomable lens, goes from like 25 to 75, so it's pretty good. And I got the color dancer here. Let me just show off some of the features of this thing, right? So you got all these presets. You have to go down here to make the IR hit it. And you can start going through all these different presets. And they all have various scrolling and strobing, etc. You can control the speed of it. So you can make it go really fast. You can also control the intensity of the light. So let's get this down and go real low. I'm going to slow it down a bit and bring it up. You can also get solid colors. And of course the platter here rotates. So let's put let's put a bottle here, right? So it's rotating, and I got this other remote here where I can control the speed of the rotation. And this will be about as fast as it goes, and I can get it pretty slow as well. I like slower. I think slower is a bit more subtle and works better that way. You can stop it, and you can also reverse it as well. And it'll go in the other direction, etc., etc. All right, so let's get some liquids on here. All right, let's mess around with the triple plate. So the triple plate, I have an extra curved bottom plate. I got a 12-inch plate here, and this will create a nice tight seal, giving it kind of like a slower, more oozy look if you get the mixture right. And then I have an extra curved top plate to allow some control here. So first things first, let's start off with just the bottom plate, and we'll put a mixture in that. I'm gonna go and set this to the first preset, and I hit the preset and I move up and then down, and then it should be stuck on that preset. I'm gonna turn the brightness all the way up as well. All right, I'm gonna focus my camera as well. So I can zoom all the way in if I want, I can zoom out. All right, and it's kind of in focus there. Cool. All right, so I'm going to start off by putting some mineral oil in. And I'm going to start off with just a black plate, so I'm not even going to use any oil dye first. So just a dollop of mineral oil there. I like to start off slow and then build up to the plate. And I'm going to put in some black water-based dye. This isn't oil-based, this is water-based. Nice thick color here. You can see, because it's water going into oil, kind of just stays there. Give it a nice fat amount of dye there. Now what I'm going to do next is pour some isopropyl alcohol in there. This bottle is actually a mix of 70% and 90% I had left over. Let's see what it does. Usually I like to work with just a 70% because it's already got water in it. So, because you don't want to use just water, and you don't want to use pure alcohol either. You want to have kind of a mixture there. So I like the 70%, comes nice out of the bottle, but you can always add or take away water as well to it. So let's pour this in and see what it does. All right. Let's go ahead and focus that a bit more. All right, cool. And now I'm going to take the bottom, the middle 12-inch plate, and I'm going to squish it. All right, I'm actually going to stop the rotation here just for a second. You can see I'm squishing it and getting these nice, cool, big blobs. I think they work better with the so-called, I say so-called, slow style. there's other names for it throughout history in the community, but I feel that it allows this shape with a tighter fit between plates of glass, allows for a nice, it lends itself well to these big oozing, slow moving bubbles and lobes that we see here. All right, but that alone, with just those couple ingredients, we can start getting some cool stuff happening. What's nice with the Color Dancer is technically you don't really need any more like oil dye or water-based dye. Although as we progress here, you'll see that it does lend to more dynamics. But as a base start, this isn't that bad, honestly. So you got some reds. You can start changing the colors here, right? Get some purple going on. Let's go ahead and spin this. Get a nice deep red going on there. All right, and you know what? Let's just go back to the original there. And like I said, we can make this go really fast if you want to. Or if you want to, we can also slow it down. You know what, I'm just gonna let it for this demo, I'm just gonna let it keep scrolling through the different patterns it does. It does a total of 366 patterns. All right, so you can see it, these nice big blobby, oozy bubbles and all that. And that is just mineral oil, a thick black ink, water-based ink, and then isopropyl alcohol. Now let's slow that down a bit. So that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead. Later on, we'll add some dye to this, but let's just go ahead now and work with the top plate. I think that the nice black background actually lends itself as a nice base to now demonstrate the top. And how about we put some color on the top? Let's go ahead and I'm going to put in some mineral oil again. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'll put in some blue. I think this is blue. I've had these colors for a while. Let's see what color it is. Yeah, there you go. And you can see now, unlike the water-based dye, which kind of just stuck there, this stuff actually kind of spreads out. You know what, scratch that. I'm gonna go back to just a pure white. This oil dye, because it's oil now in oil, it's actually gonna start spreading out a bit. And you can start swirling it if you want to. And I put some blue dye in there. My table is tilted. It's actually going that way. It's kind of annoying right now. All right, but yeah, that's cool. Let's go ahead now. I'm putting some more of this isopropyl alcohol. Right, alcohol is, you know, it will mix with water, but it also is lighter than both oil and water. So in a density tower, it'll float to the top. So technically in this mixture, if they didn't mix, you would have water, oil, and alcohol at the top. However, alcohol will mix with water. So that kind of changes the surface tension of the water-based part, which allows for like cooler bubbles and things like that. It's important to have that surface tension situation where it breaks through the oil in a nice way. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna throw some red on there. Let's see, where's my red? Do I have any more red? You know what? I have some magenta. Let's go up, and this is magenta. This is Dr. Martin's Synchromatic Transparent Watercolor. It's better than the Radiant because this stuff is meant to be like a translucent watercolor, like a layer on top of something else. So it's meant to be see-through. But in this case, it's great for liquid light shows, and it's been used for a long time by artists. It goes back. All right, let's pour some of this stuff in, and let's go ahead and give it a squish now and see what we come up with. It's kind of cool. So now we got both of these, and I can move them around. I can move them around independently. One of the techniques that I talk about, a lot of people's first instinct is to just roll this stuff back and forth like this. And that's cool, but you're gonna kind of get this like back and, I don't know, you're gonna get this like kind of jittery motion. It's cool, but one of the things that I do is I grab the bottom plate with these fingers, and then I sort of sandwich the top with this. So now I got this, like, I'm based here with my bottom fingers holding the plate, but I can also move my top with a lot more control. And so rather than just doing this, I can actually pick it up and bounce it, right? And that is something that I think is important for getting control of the situation. One of the things is here, I'm not actually pressing down. If I press down all the way, you can see it really opens up over here. But what I'm actually doing is just holding it with just like a millimeter or so between both pieces of glass with the liquids in between. All right, so this mixture, it's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more mineral oil to that. All right, so that's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and now for the bottom plates, right, which was black, I'm gonna turn it yellow. So I'm gonna grab some of my yellow oil dye, liquidlightshop.com. Support your fellow light show artists. All right. Yeah, all this stuff is available from my shop. And let's get some of that yellow in there. And we'll go kind of light right now. It's more, because the bottom plate, the light is going to get removed from the bottom plate first. So you want to go kind of light on it, because then you'll have light coming through the top part as well. There we go. Cool. So I can pull out if I want to, but I can also go in. So let's go in on that. All right, and basically I can move these around. I can move this around independently while getting like the nice big slow fat squish on the bottom, and I can get some action going on up here on the top. Start messing around with the coloring. So this would be this is the cycling of the different patterns it does. Let's get some cool strobes happening. Ooh, I kind of like that. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add one more layer to this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the Glycerin Evaporation plate. I believe I invented this. I don't think anybody else has done this before. So you got pure glycerin. You get this stuff in the like the makeup section and things like a makeup remover. And you get a nice big glob of glycerin on top. I like this color palette, but it's missing a little bit of green, so let me go ahead and add some green to it. All right, so now you got glycerin with a glob of oil dye on top. Now these won't mix either. And you can see it's right over here. And I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. I'm gonna let the green fully spread out, but then I'm gonna hit it with a spray of 91% isopropyl alcohol, and you see a pretty cool trick that it does. Actually, in fact, I'm going to pour some yellow in here as well and open it up a bit. There we go. Push it along. It's taking a bit of time. I guess I'll let it do its thing and I'll maybe fast forward it here or something. This black, or the green right now, which is at the very top, it's looking black, but it is green, but it's going to spread across the whole thing and cover it up. Let's give it a little bit of time. All right, you know what? I'm getting a little impatient here, so I'm just going to spray it. You know what, actually, it's a little hard to see it actually because we have so many layers going on. So let me go ahead and remove the middle plate and then we'll see what this looks like. See, that's what it is. It's freestyling, so you don't always know what it's going to look like, but I like to experiment. I'm going to scoop some of that oil off the bottom there. All right, let's get this on there. And move this out of the way. Perhaps this will look a little better with this. You see, as I blow on this, the green is starting to come back together over here. You see it kind of moving around? What happened is you had the bed of glycerin, then you got the oil dye on top of it, right? And it starts spreading across it. But then when you hit it with the isopropyl alcohol, all that green stuff shrunk into tiny little bubbles, again, because of surface tension. But what happens is as the alcohol evaporates, it starts coming back together because that alcohol that was in there flooding the plate is now gone, and it allows the oil dye to spread back apart. You can see it's slowly spreading apart here, and I'm going to help it along by blowing some air onto it to let it evaporate a bit faster. So see how it's coming back together? All right, let's do this one more time, and then I'm going to mess with it a little bit. So you spray it. And there you go. You can see how it like shrunk into all these tiny little bubbles right here, right? And so again, it's a bed of glycerin, and then there's the oil dye on top of it. I spray it with the 90% isopropyl alcohol, and we have a ton of these little bubbles right here, right? But what I can do is I can wait for it naturally just to evaporate. It takes about 5 minutes, or I can start blowing air on it and cause the alcohol to evaporate even faster. There we go, see that? And bam, it comes back together. I'm gonna mess with it a bit. And you can see it's causing these cool little like thingies. I'm gonna mess with it a bit more. I don't honestly like this color. I think it's making everything too dark. So I'm gonna pour a bunch of more glycerin in there. But now I'm gonna hit it with the red. I like the red for this. I think it works well. All the different oil dyes, by the way, have different types of surface tensions themselves, so they all react a little differently to alcohol and within the oil, or when they're on top of water as well. All right, so let's go ahead and drop one in there. There you go. All right, this is going to look a lot better. So you can see the oil dye is evaporating. I'm sorry, it's not evaporating. I've been talking too long. It's spreading. It's just spreading as a thin layer on top of the glycerin. In the meantime, you know, I can mess around with this situation here. I was going forward before on the remote. Let's go backwards. That just gives you your single solid colors. Right, I can also mess around my camera settings if I want to too, to get different levels of exposure. You know, it's one of the things, it's kind of important when you're doing this. You also have a camera here, right? So it's translating what you're seeing. So a lot of the way to bring out good color and all that is also through making sure that your camera is set up correctly. I'll bring this down just a little bit. All right, let's get it back to white. Bring this up a bit down. And here, I'm going to take the oil part. All right, let me stop this for a second. And make the oil kind of hopefully flow back to the other sides. I should have leveled this table before, but whatever. All right, and I'm gonna spray it. See, and it all just like disappears. But it does this cool thing where all these little droplets right here are gonna start opening back up when, as the alcohol evaporates. There you go. All right. Let's go ahead and put the other plate back on. And see where we're at. So we got a lot of colors on here. I think I put in a little too much stuff, but you know, whatever. We're just here to have a good time. Now the plate has gotten kind of sticky, and there's a lot of stuff in there. So let's go ahead and we'll pour a little bit more of the alcohol in there. Again, alcohol evaporates, so it's evaporating from here as well. Let's open that up a bit. There you go. So And also adding more liquid in there allows me to bounce this better too. All right, now there's a lot more water-based liquid in there, mixing it with the oil. All right, and now we got some triple plate action going on. We'll cycle through the colors, the solid colors, and I think we'll call it a day. That's the green. Purple. Actually, that's the blue. All right, the yellow's nice. The yellow works well. At least with this color palette. I like that. It's kind of a nice quick way to fix some colors. What was happening is the yellow's going through, and so it's blocking out some colors while accentuating other colors. That's blue, the green. That's kind of cool. All right, and there you go. So I hope everybody got something out of that. Comment, let me know what's up. All right, peace.